All right, welcome. Can you guys see me? Can you guys hear me well? This is another episode of a Real Estate Minute. Let me just get this all settled and we'll go from there. We're just going to wait till a couple people join in on this group. And welcome on this beautiful Monday in observance of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Let's see how many people we have here. Got a couple questions off the bat. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, 760-308-7483. You could send me a text message. You can call me live on the air. But we're going to answer a couple of the basic questions of home buying, home selling process, and what it takes. What does it really take? And actually, we just had our first question. So I'm just going to wait a couple seconds for more people to join in. It's chilly out today. I'm just, where are you at? Just in my front yard, just relaxing, enjoying this beautiful weather that we're having today. Just my front yard. It's not a park. Just my home. Don't mind the mess. I got 3 kids. Let's see. Well, hello, viewer. All right, I'm just gonna wait for a couple more people to join the lobby, and we'll get this started. Let's get it started. I got a couple questions a couple of you sent me, so I'm just going to go ahead. So what's the first step of the home buying process? Well, we actually went over that last time. We actually went over that last week. What are the first steps? The first step is you have to be ready, right? Is the first step going to go look at houses? No. Is the first step putting a down payment? No. The first step to the home buying process is you and your spouse and your loved ones have to be ready, right? And we got to get you pre-qualified. You got to contact me at 760-308-7483, and then I'll put you in touch with one of my lenders. And then we take a look at your credit file, your whole file, your credit score. Don't mind the blue. My pen exploded. The first step is contacting an agent, and it's going to put you in touch with a lender, and the lender is going to get you pre-qualified. What does that mean? Well, it means that a lender, unless it's a cash pay offer, right? Unless you have $300,000-$400,000, right, where it's a cash pay for a home, or enough to cover the home sale or home purchase. The first thing is you need to agree you're ready to buy a house, tired of renting, right, and throwing that money away, contacting an agent like me, and I will put you in touch with a lender. The lender will get you pre-qualified. What does that mean? We take a look at your whole credit history, your income, your debt, and the lender gets you pre-qualified, which means they're willing to lend you that money to make a mortgage payment. So a lender pre-qualifies you for $400,000, and so that means we can look for homes up to $400,000, and we will do a search on the MLS or local listings, and we'll show you. At that point I could go show you any house, tour any house that's under $400,000. If that is what there's a lot of criteria that we're looking at too, right? There's how many beds, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, how many acres, etc., how much land, and we'll just and we just go from there. All right, so we got another question. Hopefully that answered your question, Mr. Anonymous, Mr. or Mrs. Anonymous. Let's see. All right. How long does it take to buy a home? It depends. So our normal escrow I would say it's about 30 days. In this market, I've closed a couple with a 20-day escrow per the seller's request because they wanted to get out of Dodge, out of California within less than 20 days. So we've actually closed escrows, and I personally have closed an escrow in 20 days. Average time is 30 days. If you're, let me see, if you're a buyer. If you're a seller, there's the prospecting part in this market. I would say anywhere safely between 30 to 40 days. We can make you a homeowner. With exceptions, right? There's a lot of disclosures. There's inspections. If there's something, that needs to be fixed on the house, that may delay it. The longest it took me to sell a house this last year was about a 65-day escrow because there needed to be repairs that needed to be agreed upon in the whole in the escrow process, which we needed a couple of addendums to extend the time. So 30 to normally 30 to 40 days, expedited I would say 20 days. On rare occasions, 60 to 90 days. Actually, I lied to you. I'm sorry. We do have one that our escrow is 120 days. Reason being, and this is super rare, my client wants to buy a house that is still occupied by some tenants that aren't paying their rent, and so we have to go through the eviction process. And so that's taking some time. So it's a 120-day escrow there. But that's on rare occasions. The tenants are not cooperating. They haven't been paying the seller their rent, and that's why they're being evicted. And then so my buyer understands that, and we're gonna, unfortunately, we had to evict, but fortunately for the seller, we have that option. If someone's not paying their rent after multiple times, and we had to go through the eviction process. The seller's selling the house, my client is buying the house, so 120 days on rare occasions. All right. How much do I have to pay an agent to buy a house? An agent. Okay, so you don't pay me anything. Right? If I'm representing you, the buyer, I get paid by the seller commission. So you're not going to pay me anything. As an agent, what you got to worry about is your closing costs. If it's FHA, you got to come down with 3.5% of the sale price of the house. If it's conventional, it would be 3% of the purchase of the home. However, with that being said, there are programs that can help you out with first-time buyers home assistance. I, as an agent, can represent you, and we can ask the seller for credit for closing costs. $5,000 closing costs, $10,000 closing costs towards your closing costs. So there's things that we can do to help you out, but we need to see the whole picture. Right? Each case is different. The lender's going to require certain things. Sometimes we can get help from the lender as well. Let's see. Are you guys sending? Let's see. Are you guys sending text through here? I'm getting through my other phone. Once again, the phone number is 760-308-7483. What kind of credit score do I need to buy a home? Once again, ladies and gentlemen, it depends on your specific situation. If your income is really high, we could kind of get away with a lower credit score. Typically, we could work with anything above 585. That's not ideal because it's not going to be favorable for you with the rates that the bank is going to get back to you on. We usually want a credit score of about 620 and above. But once again, I would send all that information over to my lender, and we can just see how we can help you, right? So we'll, and it depends. Are you a veteran, right? Are we going for a VA loan? Do you qualify for a conventional if it's above 620, FHA, anything above 585? But we obviously want your credit score to be a little bit better, so you get more favorable rates and a better monthly payment, right? But anything above 585 we could work with your mid score. Let's see. Any other questions? What is a buyer's market? Well, a buyer's market is a market that's favorable towards the buyer. The home prices are low. We can negotiate with the seller. The buyer, we can ask for seller credits to buy the house. That is a buyer's market, which usually means the trend is that the inventory is really high. There's a lot of houses on the market, and not that many people want to buy at the time. So it favors a buyer because we can negotiate with the seller more. And the opposite of that is a seller's market, where we would see that the market there's not that many homes for sale, so the seller would be able to get more money for their home, and there's a lot of buyers lining up to buy. There's a bidding war going on. So that is a seller's market. Does that mean you can't afford a house? No. A lot of people ask me, oh, just wait until the market does what, right? And so I tell my clients, you are ready to buy whenever you are ready. When you're tired of paying rent, right? Because this is what a lot of people ask me, well, when are rates going to dip, or when are home prices going to go down? If we knew, we would be billionaires. However, the question I ask them is, in the last 10 years, you've been renting an apartment, paying $2,700 a month, right, in rent. Has your landlord ever lowered your rent? Think about that. So rent is always, in most cases, 99% of the time, always going to go up. I've never seen a market where rental prices go down. If you know of one, please let me know, and we'll research it, right? When has your rent gone down? So I tell my friends, I tell my clients, I tell my family, if you could afford the payment, it doesn't matter what the market is, right? I don't even talk to people about equity or this and that, because that's on you. The market changes. I'm not going to be the person to tell, oh yeah, a house is a good investment, an equity and this and that. No, that's up to you. That's up to you to and I could guide you, right? But the market was always going to change. So I don't want to be the person telling you, oh yeah, it's a great investment when we know that the markets go up and down. Now, however, if the monthly payment that we get you to buy a house is less than what you are renting, then I think that's a good investment at that point in time, because we know that rent is always going to go up. I've never seen a landlord tell my client, hey, by the way, you've been a great tenant for the last 5 years, we're going to lower your rent. Have you ever heard of that? Think about it, right? So if you could afford the monthly mortgage payment and you're comfortable with that payment, I think for your family, that's a good investment. Don't think about like equity or as an investment. We could get there, right? If this is your first time home buying, I want to just make sure you have a home for you and or your family that you're comfortable, and your landlord, because you would be the landlord, will raise the rent, right? Now, if we're talking about investment properties, we can definitely help you out with that as well. Duplexes, triplexes, quadruplexes, those are great, in my opinion, investment properties, because you will have 3 or 4 tenants that you will choose to be living there and paying you rent, right? And let me ask you this, right? Would you give a discount to your tenant at that point in time, right? So you can't blame a landlord lowering the rent. I mean, raising the rent, right, or keeping it. You can't blame them for not lowering it. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, there's inflation going around. There's maintenance to for investment properties, but we could get there on a separate conversation. I just wanted to kind of put that in your mind. Like, think about it. Will my landlord ever lower my rent? Would you ever lower the rent for your tenants? It doesn't make any sense. Unless you're just, unless obviously there's a circumstance, right? But that you are okay with and you're willing to help out your tenants. But nine out of 10 times your landlord will not lower your rent. So owning a home is protection against that, right? Because you're going to be locked down for 10, 15, 30 years with that same payment. So really think about it. Well, guys, I got to get going. Guys and girls and my clients, my family, thank you for watching. I got to get going. This was a Real Estate Minute. Let me know if this was helpful. If I would love to represent you, I would love to be your agent, get you into that home, you and your family into that home. Call me, 760-308-7483. My name is George Rodesno, and my license is 0211-3726. I represent the high desert. We got offices in the Inland Empire as well, San Bernardino, Irvine, Orange County. But I mostly focus here in the high desert. This is my home, the high desert, right? And let me go show you some properties. Let me show you the benefit of being a homeowner as opposed to being a tenant, right? That is all I'm gonna say is the benefits of being a homeowner versus what benefits of being a tenant, right? You're always constant fear your landlord's going to raise your rent. I've been there. It's scary. I've had to live in a motel, right? When I was a kid, it's terrifying. And so I just want that. I just want you to not have that fear as a homeowner, right? You don't have to worry about that. You have to worry about making your mortgage payment, but guess what? You also have to worry about paying your rent as well. And 9 out of 10 times, 9 out of 10 clients of mine, the mortgage payment is less than what they were paying in rent. So think about it. Let's do a quick calculation, right? I don't even think I need a calculator, but I don't want to look stupid. So how much is your rent monthly? Let's say your rent for an apartment in San Bernardino, Rancho Cucamonga, let's just say conservatively it's where's my calculator? Let's say conservatively your rent for an apartment is $1,800, right? $1,800. In a year, you paid $21,600 in rent to a place that you're never going to own. You paid your landlord's mortgage. Well, how long have you been living there? Most people that are ready to buy, and this is just the average, right? You could buy, I mean, I've had clients like myself. I bought my first house when I was 22. I was renting for 3 years and I got fed up. Most people, 10 years. That's their rental history. So 10 years, 21,600 times 10 years, you paid $216,000 to your landlord to pay their mortgage. You were 3/4 of the way of paying for a house in 10 years. That money is never going to go back to you. So if you're thinking about owning, your monthly mortgage payment would probably be around there, $1,700, $1,800, depending on your situation, obviously, right? The higher end homes, $500,000 homes, your payment could be $2,300, $2,400. It depends on your situation, depends on your credit, depends on your income. So really think about it, right? How much money have you wasted on renting? Call me today, 760-308-7483.